Good morning. It's Thursday, April 18th, so it must be time for another update from your North Carolina Medical Society. Man, has it been a busy week yet again down at the General Assembly. Legislators have been trying to wrap up before they leave town to go back home for their break. But with that being said, we want to thank you so much for your participation in House Bill 655 action alert that we sent out, which relates to the bill regarding North Carolina working families to create an insurance product, coverage product for them. And we just really want to thank you and encourage you to participate in that action alert, as well as continue to communicate with legislators as they're back home in your district on why covering more people is important to you and your patient population and what that would mean specifically to you. So please continue to have those conversations back home in the district. Also want to talk about a few bills that moved this week. One in particular that made its way all the way to the governor's office, which was the Born Alive Act, which you may have heard about in the news. So this bill made it through the Senate chamber and the House chamber this week and has been sent to the governor. So we await to see what he decides to do with this particular bill. We also had the organ and tissue donation bill made it through the House chamber as well. So that bill will go through the Senate. Next, as a reminder, this bill would allow tissue to be donated as well, in addition to organs, which is what's indicated on your driver's license card. If you've decided to be an organ donor, this would include tissue in that process, because right now North Carolina law requires a separate sheet for you to fill out for tissue. So this would include tissue in that organ donation process. Also moving this week is the Brody School of Medicine Planning Funds, which the North Carolina Medical Society has supported, because we think this is incredibly important to our state, as Brody is known for producing physicians who stay in the state of North Carolina and Eastern North Carolina and go into primary care. So we were excited to see this bill move through the House Education Committee this week. Also moving was the STEP therapy bill sponsored by Representative Potts and Representative Wayne Sasser. Now this bill was heard just for discussion only, so it'll be back in House Health next week when they come back from their break. And NCMS is supportive of this initiative as well, because we think it truly prioritizes health and the health of your patients, of not having to jump through hurdles and you deciding with your patient what the best care plan and treatment plan is from them. So we're really excited to have two champions, Representative Sasser and Representative Potts, on this bill, and look forward to seeing it move next week. Also had a bill move through House Health on youth suicide, and our North Carolina Medical Society Legislative Cabinet has decided that this would be a public health initiative that we would prioritize. So this bill would allow teachers and other staff and personnel, would encourage them to be trained on the risks of youth suicide and be able to better identify that. So we're excited that that bill moved out of the House Health Committee quite easily this week too. Now, in really exciting news, House Bill 849 has been filed this week, which is the Healthcare Practitioner Transparency Act. And this is a bill that we've been talking about and working on in conjunction with the AMA in their Truth in Advertising campaign. And we're excited because we think that this bill truly exemplifies patient safety at the forefront by requiring providers of all types to identify clearly who they are to their patients. And we think this is a great talking point for us to talk to legislators about why differences in training and why communicating that to patients is important to ensuring that they're receiving the best care possible from the appropriate practitioner for their needs. So very excited to have this bill filed this week. So thank you to our bill sponsors, Representative Potts, Representative Kyle Hall, Representative Yarborough, and Representative Dr. Greg Murphy for signing on to this legislation. And we're looking forward to educating the rest of our members about this bill. So would encourage you again to talk to your legislators about this bill and why that transparency is so important to you and your patients. So it's been a great week here at the General Assembly. Tons of bills have been filed as we hit that bill filing deadline for bills that do not have an appropriation, so bills that don't have funding attached to them. The deadline was this week for the House, so we're at about 900 bills there. So a lot of things for me to summarize, so bear with us as we get up to speed with those on the blog. But the blog is the best place for you to find out all the bills that have been filed that relate to you and relate to health care. I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Tim Reeder, Dr. Rayner from the North Carolina Medical Society Board, and Dr. Art Apollinario for coming out for White Coat Wednesday, as well as Dr. Daly from Greenville, North Carolina. I really appreciated having all of them in the building this week. It was nice to see some white coats, and we had some great conversations. But we hope that you, again, continue that conversation with your legislators as they're back home resting and preparing for the next budget process coming up at the General Assembly. It'll be a tough few weeks, so please continue those conversations back home about what's important to you and your patients, and we hope you have a great break.